Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here in the GSR. The topic of today's video is about tires and tire noise. Those of you that watch my ETCG1 channel might be familiar with a video that I did about the most important purchase for your car, and I advocate that that's tires. A lot of you had other ideas, and that's great, but in this video I want to talk a little bit more about my point, and that is that tires contribute to so many things, and in particular I want to cover noise in this video. I have a set of older tires on the Integra now that came with the car when I bought it. Now they're not bad tires, there's still actually plenty of tread material left on them, but something that happens to the tires over time is they go through heat cycles. And during those heat cycles what happens is they get hot, they get cold, they get hot, they get cold, and as a result the rubber starts to get a little bit harder. So what starts out as something that's pliable and sticky ends up being hard and not so sticky, and I'm really starting to notice wet traction issues with the GSR. So I'm going to change these out. Now I didn't necessarily have the money to buy a set of wheels and tires. I would have liked to have upgraded both, but all my money's tied up in the Fairmont. What we're doing now is we're taking a drive in the Integra with the old tires. I have a decibel meter here that we're going to take a reading of the sound that this car makes on a freshly paved road. So in other words, I want to try to take the road out of the equation, and I'm going to take this for a drive on the exact same road with the new tires and the old tires, and we'll measure the sound. So that's all we're really doing. This is not a sponsored video, and I'm not trying to advocate one type of tire over another type of tire. I'm merely trying to illustrate that tires contribute to not only traction but also the kind of noise that you hear inside the vehicle. Now the exhaust in this car is stock, so it's not noisy at all. Basically the bulk of the noise comes from the tires themselves, and I aim to show that here in this video. Okay, we're coming up on the freshly paved road. Speed limit here is going to be 50, so that's what I'm going to keep it at for both tests. Turn this on, and we are getting at 50 miles an hour exactly. Looks like about 70 to 75 decibels. Kind of jumping around a little bit. With the old set of tires, well, let's call it, yeah, somewhere between 70 and 75 decibels we're getting with the old tires. Now I'll go back to the shop, swap these out for the new tires, and we will measure the difference. These are the tires I have in there now. They're these Yokohama 195/55 R15s, and they are Avid Invigors. Something else I'll show you real quick since we just went for a drive is tire temperature. Tires do heat up when you drive them. Check it out. Tires are warm, especially back here. So this is what I'm putting on in their place. These Michelin Premier AS's 195/55 15s, V-rated tires. I have these on my Acura Vigor, and I like them very much. Well, we're back. And you might be saying, hey Eric, how did you get all clean shaven in just a matter of a few seconds? Well, fun fact, yesterday after I finished installing the new tires on the Integra, I went to go do my second run on this road, which happens to be in front of a popular amusement park here in Ohio. And it was their opening day, and traffic was backed up for more than a mile. So there's no way I was going to achieve 50 miles an hour, so now I am back the next day after showering and shaving. So I smell a little better. I hope you appreciate the effort. But we are almost to the same road again. Well, we're on the same road, but we're almost to the clean pavement. And I can say there is already a marked difference in how the car behaves, how the car sounds. It's a different car. The way it handles everything. It's softer. Even though those old tires had enough tread life left in them, there was still quite a bit of noise and everything else. Well, we're approaching the clean pavement here. I'm going to do 50 miles an hour, and we will once again check our noise level. And it's significantly less, down to 66. So down in the 60s from 70 to 75, and I know it's jumping up and down, and that's partly because I'm talking, but it just goes to prove my point in that tires have a massive effect. Good tires have a massive effect on how your car handles and drives, and also the noise level inside of it. We can run back to the shop real quick, and I can do a temperature measurement just for the sake of having it. Just to see if they run at a different temperature. But I mean, I realize this is a really obvious point in this video that new good tires are better than old worn out tires, which, as you can see, those old tires weren't necessarily worn out. There was still plenty of tread, but as I said, you know, they heat up, they cool down, they heat up, they cool down, they get harder over time as a result. And they become louder, and they have less traction. There's less grip there because instead of having sticky, pliable rubber, you've got harder rubber that's not going to be as sticky. And that's kind of my point. Keep in mind that this is a cooler morning, but it seems that these are close to or slightly cooler than the old tires. But I can't really say that this test is like hugely valid because it's much cooler than it was yesterday when I was out driving the car, and I'm sure the ambient temperature has an effect. All right, so what's our takeaway? Well, it's that new tires of good quality are better than old tires that seem to have a lot of tread life in them, at least as far as noise is concerned. But I can also say that traction is equally affected. I feel like this car has a lot more traction. Also, it takes the bumps a lot better. It's obviously much quieter than it was initially with the other tires. And that's all I'm really trying to illustrate here. I'm not trying to say that, you know, this brand is better than that brand. That's not what this video is about. This video is just about the fact that there is a difference between good quality tires and old tires that may seem to have a lot of tread life left. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to put links in the description to information that pertains to this video that may be useful to you. I'm also going to put a link in the description to EricTheCarGuy.com, which is where I ask you go if you have automotive questions. Outside of that, I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. I'll see you next time.